The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM. Ya hala, ya hala, ya hala, ya hala, ya hala.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and you're listening to Sisters Speak on Inspire 105.1 FM, and you're live with me, Faiza.
Me, Amina.
Me, Lamisa.
Me, Mariam. And me, Zarish.
And we're finally here after a very long time. And honestly, we've actually missed it quite a lot.
We have.
But alhamdulillah, we're back, and hopefully we will bring you more consistent shows.
Inshallah.
Even better shows.
Yes. But first things first, everyone. We need you guys to vote.
We need you guys right now in our time of need.
Literally, go to the Facebook page of Inspire FM and vote for us for the
Sisters Speak, obviously.
Yes.
Also, if you have Instagram, our Instagram account is @SistersSpeak. I put it in the link in our bio. So follow us on Instagram while you're there.
What? I'm not following.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Is it the award for the best show? It's
for
the best show,
community's choice.
Community's
because
choice.
You as the community love listening
to our voices.
And we appreciate your interaction with us so much. So today's topic is going to be about friendship. So before we do get into that, if you do want to get involved in today's show, call or text us on what, Amina?
07779481822. That's our text and WhatsApp number, and you can call on 01582481822.
And Facebook?
It's Inspire FM on Facebook.
Yes, so you can comment on our Facebook live stream if you also want to share, because we do read out all the comments on there. So before we get into that, Mariam, what's our show about?
So our show is a platform for Muslim girls to voice their own opinions on current events and issues, and even form discussions on general topics such as religion, culture, politics, social media. We want to note that all opinions and views are our own, and we respect all other or opposing views.
Thank you for that. So before we do get into it, every week on our show, well, the previous weeks that we were consistently doing shows, we did a segment called Thought for the Week. So this is something maybe we've learnt, something, a lesson that we just want to share with each other, something beneficial. Maybe something's happened, or we've just, thought maybe came along or something. So we're going to share those first. So who am I going to pick on? Zarish, you can go first.
Let's put Lamisa on the spot first.
Wait.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, yeah,
Why? So she there like she missed me, yes. Okay, so my thought for the week is something along the lines of, if you've missed an opportunity, then there's no point crying about it. Just move on, dust your hands off it, and go find something better. Because I feel like we spend a lot of time thinking about the past unnecessarily and sort of worrying about things that could have been, when really we should be focusing on what's happening now and trying to make our future a better place. So yeah. Keeping it short and simple.
That's a good one. I love that.
It's a good one.
Cheers.
Zarish?
Mine will be just say alhamdulillah for everything, because obviously with the recent tragedy that's happened in New Zealand, it's really heartbreaking. You should just say alhamdulillah, because we're not in that position. Pray for our brothers and sisters that were affected, and thank your blessings. And yeah, it's a bit of an emotional one.
Alhamdulillah.
Mariam?
My thought of the week is about self-care. I'll keep it short as well. I think it's really important to look after yourself. That's right.
Self-care, that's my favourite.
And one more thing I'd like to request everyone to make dua for me and my family. We're intending to go Umrah next week.
Wow.
So make dua that we get our visas, and inshallah we'll have everyone in their prayers.
Inshallah. Amina?
I guess mine is a bit more light-hearted, depending on how you perceive it.
Oh God. Was it bring a water bottle every day?
No, once it's not that.
Eat an orange.
Orange scandal.
When you're cooking, just be patient with your food. Like, for me, I'm talking to myself. Like, I'm just not patient with it. Like, I was making grilled cheese and I couldn't be bothered.
End up with raw food?
No. It was a good sandwich, okay? But I couldn't be bothered to get a spatula, and I just took it off the pan with my hands and I burnt my fingers. So just use utensils. I know you're hungry, but just do what you have to do, and you'll be fine and healthy. So,
That's so to all the people who love food out there.
And, all of that. Don't burn your
I feel like
fingers.
patience is mainly the more message.
Yeah.
Thought for the week.
I feel like we do need to be more patient. Like your food's going to be ready. You're going to eat it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just a note to all the listeners out there, yes, we are live. I think people are questioning if the show is live because we haven't had a show for a long time.
Yeah.
So to the person who did just message that in, yes, we are live. So please join in our discussion on today's topic. So our hot topics this week, we have 2. One is the clock's going forward.
Short and simple. I
Very
guess.
short and simple, guys.
So the clocks went forward
The clock went forward.
on the 30th of March. Yeah.
That's less sleep, guys.
But less time at work too.
Yeah.
Also, the days are longer. I just.
Oh yeah, the days are. Yeah, they're getting longer.
Why do you sound disappointed? I
No,
love
so what
that.
do you
No,
mean?
they
So
tire
if the
me
days are
out.
longer, then the days at work isn't shorter, then you've been lying to me.
No, because the hour went forward.
But we're still
it's like-
starting
Oh, yeah.
5:30.
After work, though, there's more daytime for you to enjoy after work.
It
Like,
just
not
makes me
sunshine.
sleepy.
Sleep anyway,
Yeah,
and
just-
knock
Yeah, but I
out.
feel like you're
Sleepy.
exhausted. I feel like longer days kind of drag out and you just get
Yeah.
exhausted.
Really? I feel.
No, I like it. I like that
I
there's
love it.
sunshine outside
I
after
would
work.
like it.
It was
It
not
was
sunny
summer.
outside today. It was
It is
raining.
raining.
Yeah, but
It
it
was
was
so
Play
dark.
during summer.
We should become weather speak, to be honest. You all talk about the weather.
Armand does. Anyways, our next topic, a hot topic, is preparing for Ramadan, which is really exciting because it's literally almost
1 month.
Literally.
In about a month, yeah.
Wow.
anything for the upcoming preparations.
I think it's important to prepare before it starts because, like, once it's come upon us, like you want to be already on a roll with, you know, like strengthening your iman and whatever goals you have Islamically. And like I'm talking to myself too, like if I start gradually improving myself now, it'll become easier during Ramadan, and then even then maybe I can do even better if
Yeah.
I start now.
True that.
So yeah, and I'm also thinking, like, I've never actually done this before, but I'm thinking of like writing a list of what I want to achieve, because I think if I have it in my head and I don't achieve it, then it's like, oh well, it's not
It's not
written down,
concrete,
you know?
you know.
If I write it down, then it's kind of official that this is what I need to do, and it's a reminder that I need to work on this during the month. So inshallah we can all improve ourselves somehow.
Yeah,
Fair
adding to
enough.
that, I think it's planting the seed now, and then in Ramadan, allow that to nourish and nurture it.
That's a good analogy.
I would say start small.
Definitely.
Start really, really small, and don't undermine the small act that you do. So, for example, even just making a dua every single day, a personal dua, that will build your connection, your personal connection with Allah, and you start to love Allah a lot more, and it will impact you the way you want to do things for Him. And remember that your journey is very personalized and it's very individualized. Like, don't compare to someone else.
Yeah.
So
True.
I think it's just taking that first step, and then Allah will like take care of it, to be honest.
You can start doing fasts as well. Monday and Thursday, I think, was the sunnah. So if you
Yeah.
start doing that, it'd be easier for you once Ramadan comes, because you've sort of acclimatized yourself in that
Yeah.
sense.
Or maybe do it. I mean, our main topic today is about friendships. Maybe do something small with your friends, like maybe every 2 weeks or something. Fast on Mondays all together, and then you have iftar together.
Yeah,
That's
It
that's
makes
nice.
it a social thing, and it
Yeah.
makes it fun. And at the same time, you're bringing yourself closer to God. But also,
Definitely.
your friendship group will become more conscious of doing these acts, and then in Ramadan, it'll help you to have that support network to do it.
Definitely. Anyone else who is listening as well, please do let us know what you think you could, like, any tips or anything for any of the other listeners on preparations for Ramadan coming up. Let us know on what?
On WhatsApp or text 07779 481822, or you can comment under our Facebook Live, and you can see us too if you want.
Wave, guys. But anyways, moving on to our main topic now, guys. Friendship.
Friendship.
So what is friendship?
It's all of us in the
What is
studio.
What is friendship?
It's choosing someone to love who's not your family, and then you make them your family.
Sounds
Oh,
like marriage.
That's sweet.
Well, that's like
Isn't
a
that a
different
different
kind
form
of
of friendship?
friendship.
Yeah.
Okay, put it that way. What is friendship? Lamisa.
I don't know.
Sarah,
I don't have many friends.
Friendship is someone that you can talk to about anything that you can't talk to about your family with. Someone you trust, you can have secrets with. Someone that you're familiar, like, you know, comfortable with, that are common with, and you can do things together and just be crazy and be good together as well. Yeah, that's what friendship is.
Don't you think family can be friends though?
Yeah.
No, you can't tell them secrets.
I can.
I love hearing my siblings' secrets and then just use it against them.
I think your family can be your friends. Oh, I think it depends what type of family you have. Because then they're not your friends for sure. They're not your friends.
Well, my sister needs to watch this. I'm going to make her watch this.
Mariam?
Yeah, I think she hit the nail on the head. It is about being comfortable with someone, having trust, having loyalty, and caring about one another unconditionally.
Aww. Guys, you're my friends.
Ew.
Not anymore.
I'm your friend. It's okay, Faiza, I'm your friend. I'm your friend, Faiza, don't worry.
Always. Right, so our first question. Are friendships underrated and underappreciated?
I think they are, to be honest. I really think friendships are underrated because it's a lot of...
Wait, before you say it, because I don't want them to get any ideas first. We'll say yes or no, and then we'll go for reasons.
Just like...
Sorry. Are they
not
underappreciated?
Not friends anymore.
Are friendships underrated and underappreciated?
I think they are.
Yeah.
You didn't expect that, did you?
No, in terms of underrated, underappreciated, do people even make proper friendships nowadays? Is my sort of question.
Okay, someone just and Amina?
Yeah, I say that friendships are underrated.
Right. Okay. So why?
I think they're underrated because we underestimate how much substance we exchange between each other. So in terms of emotions, in terms of workload, sometimes caring about someone is a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. You have to reciprocate that. It's a lot of energy. And, you know, adding on to what Lamisa says, you know, everyone, I think it's very easy to kind of become more in tune on what your needs are and not someone else's needs are. And that can lead to, you know, toxic relationships too. And also is that it's so easy to spread yourself thin and care too much about people that don't reciprocate. So I think they are underrated because we become more we just think about ourselves more. I think that's just how it, even if it's just like unconsciously, I think we do tend to think about our own needs. Oh, I'm feeling really down today. Why is no one caring? But then you're not, maybe your best friend is caring about you, but you just haven't, it hasn't translated the way you want it, and maybe you haven't communicated that. It doesn't mean she doesn't care, it just means that you haven't been proactive in kind of figuring
communication.
Out. Communication is more, and figuring out, you know, what works for both of you.
Okay.
And looking after each other, I think it's so easy to be on one side, and you have to look after each other.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Zarish, why do you think?
Basically, everything that she just said, I just want to add on that, you know, friendship's all about give and take. Any relationship's about give and take. So if you're giving them respect, the trust, the time, then you'd expect that back in return. But as you get older, you get busy with your everyday life, and then sometimes, you know, that could be a barrier and could cause conflict. So there is a lot. You need to spare time for your friends as well as your everyday life as well. So that's what my views
we
are.
have the devil's advocate right here, Lamisa.
No, I didn't agree. Why I said what I said was because
what did you say again? Remind us.
I said that do people even make friendships nowadays? Because I feel like a lot of people, we're so focused on getting to where we need to get. So every time you interact with a person, the intentions sometimes aren't as pure. It sort of seems like you're just another connection, or that's the feeling I get from the environment I'm in right now. So like it's more
for like networking.
Networking instead of a real friendship. And I feel like the best types of friendships are just made from, you know, like stupid things that are doing, or like a little incident or stuff like that, and that's when you make your like best friend. But I think in general, like, everyone's more an acquaintance rather than a friend. Like, you know everyone and you're going to call them your friend, but realistically is the sort of friendship there like on an emotional level.
Oh yeah, true that.
So,
fair enough.
You know,
interesting point. Amina?
I feel like as like people don't really appreciate friendship for what it is. Like well, obviously you and your closest friends do appreciate each other, but to the outside world, it doesn't seem as something that is like, I don't know, important or like gold in quotation marks. Because I feel like so many other things that are so overrated, and everyone's trying to chase other things like relationships, for example, like getting married and stuff. Obviously that's amazing, no hate on that, but I feel like friendships are just as amazing. Like, we don't need to chase things that maybe we don't have, that is just not in our, like, it's
Path
not in
right
our
now.
time. Yeah, it's not in our
Or
path
we're
right
not
now.
ready for it.
Like, we don't need to chase things like that. Like, if you have a good set of friends, even if that's like 2 friends or just one really good friend, then just treasure that, because that's such an amazing thing to have.
True.
Something I was thinking about the other day is that, you know, as Namisa said, that you can make friends in the most genuine things, but, you know, we always think about connections. How about investing in the existing friends? They have potential. Everyone has potential.
Yeah, true that.
If you invest in your friends and they go up, then you go up with them. I feel like we just want to be above everyone else, and
Yeah.
we're not willing to put our hands down and bring someone up with us.
Okay, but question now for all of you, following on from what Lamisa said, do you think nowadays that you personally are in for more looking for connections or looking for friends, if that makes sense? When you'd meet someone new.
When I meet someone new, I kind of assess them.
It's out the criteria, but she's like, okay.
I'm actually being very serious. I actually assess a person because I think your time is very valuable. And, you know, as Lamisa said, I actually consider people to be my acquaintance. You know, I won't, you know, if I know that I'm not going to reciprocate the energy, I will take a step back, because I don't want people to have that expectation on me, because I know I can't fulfill it, and they deserve someone who will fulfill their friendship needs. But, you know, I make it quite clear if I feel like you're a connection or you're someone that I actually genuinely want to like spend my time with.
Okay.
I think it's good to be transparent.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Very
that's
good.
good
Yeah.
though, because
True.
you know how Lamaisa was saying, like, you don't know if these friendships are real or not. Like, if you're trying to get a connection from that person, but you're acting like you're friends.
Okay, yeah. I
Then
feel like
that's
you can
just wrong.
sort of see it though. Like, you can sort of see
You can
But I
tell
think if
when
you're
someone's
making it
being
clear,
fake.
like Mariam said, if you're making it clear that you're an acquaintance and, I don't know, like, I'm working with you, I need something from you, then just make it clear, because if you're not going to be friends, then
Okay.
what's the point?
Yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
true.
Darish, Lamisa?
I had something in my head, but
Okay.
it completely.
Well,
I
you know.
agree with Mariam. You know, I don't assess people, but
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I'll elaborate afterwards. Okay, I need
Okay.
to justify my point.
it depends where I am. If I'm at a networking event, then obviously
Well,
I'm going
you're there
to.
for a reason,
Yeah, I'm
right?
there
Yeah.
for a reason. But no, if I meet someone and I think to be honest, I think I get along with everyone. I kind of push my friendship on them because I like having loads of friends, and that's not because I want networking. It's just because I like to socialise. I like to communicate with people. I love my phone calls. I just like to go home, get into my PJs, and just ring people on my list. So
It's very funny.
you know. But yeah, it just depends where you are and who you're with. Just get to know them.
I think when I meet people, I'm not necessarily thinking like you're going to be my friend or you're not going to be my friend. I think it's more so I just sort of take, like, when I meet someone, it's on face value. Like, I'll talk to you and you know, and I'll be nice to you, and if we become friends, then we're going to become friends. If we don't become friends, then we're not going to become friends. Like, I feel like it's just very,
It's very like, you know,
It's-
if anyone does
it's
me
chill.
wrong, come cut you off.
No, but I
like,
think
if I
that's
see you
genuine.
more and more and I talk to you
Yeah.
more and more, then obviously we're going to become friends. And
Yeah,
if
of
I don't,
course.
then we
Yeah, I
don't.
think it's very static, because you just have that first impression and you either click or you don't.
But I think I can read people well enough to
Yeah.
know when someone's trying to make a connection out of me.
Like, you can
or
sort of see their intentions.
intention, because I think it's not difficult to. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover,
Yeah.
but if I don't get a good feeling off someone, I generally don't tend to approach them again.
Right? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Amina?
I'd say I'm quite like Lamaisa. Like, I don't really look for anything when I meet someone. I feel like I'm the opposite to Zarish. Not to say I'm a cold, unsocial person. I'm just like
Be my
I
friend or
can't-
don't.
Yeah,
I don't really care.
I honestly can't be bothered. Like, if we're talking, then that's fine. Like, I'll get on with you.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I'd rather just like go home and talk to the friends I have.
So do you believe it's mainly down to preference then as a person?
Yeah, I definitely think
Definitely,
so.
It depends who you are.
You
too.
are as a person, because there are
Yeah.
loads of people who will happily keep in contact with people who they've only
Yeah.
met once. They're like, if
And that's
I
fine.
meet you more than 5 times in the week, then we can have
Yeah, but
a
how are you
established
going to meet
friendship.
those people if you decide on the first meeting that you don't want to be friends with
No,
them?
I think that's the point. Like, it's
Yeah.
not about deciding whether you want to be friends with them or not in that moment.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sort of well, that sounds
Let
weird, but
nature just
take
you
its
know,
course.
It's
take
true
course,
though.
yeah.
I feel like the way I treat things is if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like if we get on, then maybe we're going to be friends one day. Like
and
Yeah.
I'll introduce it to my family and everything.
Guys, you haven't invited me yet to your house, you know.
One day, guys. I've come to your house so many times and dropped
We'll
you off.
do
You've never
iftar.
invited me
and
inside.
she didn't take you in.
No.
Poor
Come on,
girl.
Pfizer.
I
let
know.
her in.
I'm not dropping you off home after today.
Thanks for that.
Unless you let her in.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. How do you know that you as a person are a good friend? Right, someone seems to be in trouble out there.
No, I'm just thinking, like, can you decide that yourself?
Yeah.
But do you think you're a good friend?
Do you think
Generally?
I'm a good friend?
No. Do you think that you're a good friend? Those listening as well, let us know your thoughts. Like friendships as well. Like in a friendship, for example, do you think you're a good friend?
I can't assess that, man. Someone else has to tell me.
No, but do you think you're doing
honestly
your
speaking,
bit
I think
to
I'm not
be
a bad
good
friend. I'll say
I'm not bad.
I'll say that much. I don't think
Yeah,
I don't
I
hurt
think I'm good
people.
in some aspects and some not, because I mean, if I have a friend that I see, potential in, I will push them and I'll make sure that they go ahead and do their very best in life. But then, if there's some people that I just don't see any potential in, I'll just leave them to it. And also, I get really bad mood swings, as far as you would know. So then,
Work is great.
So when you want to be friends, if you're friends with me, you have to know that you have to learn how to deal with my mood swings. So that, in that sense, I can be a really bad friend. But other than that, I do push people to do their best. I am nice to them. I'm always there to listen, but they also have to listen to my ongoing drama, which is 24/7. So I think I'm neutral.
Mariam?
Yeah, I agree with Lamisa, to be honest. I think I do my best to be a good friend. So
Yeah.
it's not that I go out my way to be evil. So
That's the standard our society's gotten to. I don't go out my way to be evil, but low-key I am a bit.
Yeah, you should identify your weakness like mine. I get mood swings.
yes, of course,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I think she's right. I mean, you should identify your weaknesses. If you think there's traits about you that can create conflict or can harm another person, have that clear communication with the person.
Like an example, Ramadan's the most beautiful month of the year, but I'm already apologising to everyone. Like, Ramadan starting, I will be the moodiest person you'll ever come across. I'm really sorry, and I'll probably send you a soppy message after iftar and say, I'm really sorry, I love you, and then be moody again the next morning.
Just because she's hungry.
Yeah.
That's okay though. Like as long as you're
clear.
open about it, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like
Everyone
a
I
good
know.
friend is someone who, like a good relationship with anyone, is like you recognize your faults and you're not in denial about it. Like if you're, no one's a perfect person. Like we can all say we're good friends and stuff, but
True that.
if you're like, I feel like you won't be a good friend if you have. There's nothing wrong with having faults, but if you have these faults and you completely deny them, and if they bring it up to you and you get angry about it, then you're not really a good friend.
So it does kind of boil down to identifying your kind of weaknesses first.
But I think it also comes down to being open in any, but that's not just friendship,
Yeah.
that's relation with your family, with your friends, with anyone
Yeah.
you come across.
And open with yourself, to be honest, because
Yeah.
if you don't be open with yourself, then you won't recognize your...
I think that's one thing about me, like in terms of friendship, I'm very blunt, and people who know me, people who are
can
friends with me, they know, like people I get along with generally, we have like a sarky sort of sense of humour, so
Yeah.
it's sort of on that level. So if something gets on my nerves or things like that, it's very easy for me to just say like, that's not right,
not cool.
and I think we need to talk about that because you're not going to talk to me like that again. It's sort of that type of situation.
Don't want to get on her bad
But, but I think it's important you have that because you have so many friendships where people can't be open with each other and then they just sort of drift away, and I don't like that. I'd rather talk to you properly on a level and
like
then
everything out in the open.
Yeah.
so that we can
I feel
move
like
on.
When it comes to being in the open, though, things kind of flow depending on the person that you're with as well and the person that you're friends with.
True.
Because you have that level of comfortability where you want to speak to them and
Yes.
you'd want to
Yeah.
talk about everything everything and vice versa.
And it's that level of like comfort, like you're comfortable with talking to them. Because if you're if I've met you only like twice and you've got on my nerves, then I'm not going to tell you straight away. Like I think it gets to a certain friendship level where you can be that open.
Yeah.
But I think friendship has a lot to do with like listening and things like that. It's very important that you're that shoulder.
I think there are a
has.
lot of qualities that you have to take into consideration within a friendship. I feel like friendship has its own kind of work that kind of gets put into it, but it's like not work. Like
it's not. It's something you've done naturally.
Yeah. When we come back from the break, we'll be discussing more about what are toxic friendships, identifying toxic traits, because I feel like it's kind of important. Some people don't even realize it that they're in perhaps a toxic friendship. So all those listening, please do get involved. 07779 481822. Text us, let us know, and we'll read them all out as soon as we can. Make sure you leave your name, please. And also on the
Don't
Facebook
forget to
Live.
vote.
Yeah, Facebook Live as well. Comment on there. Let us know your thoughts. Please join us in a couple of minutes after the break as well. And go on to Inspire FM Facebook
Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote.
And vote for
And
us.
Instagram.
Oh yeah. See you soon after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
You're listening to an Inspire FM podcast, making available our popular programs from our daily broadcast on Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back to Sisters Speak on Inspire 105.1 FM, and we are live for the second half of our show. Just before the break we were talking about friendship, and now we will continue our conversation. So make sure you will get involved. Please do WhatsApp us on 07779 481822. You can call into the studio 01582 481822, or you can even join the conversation on Facebook Live. Let us know your thoughts or your opinions on anything that we discussed today. So, new question. What is a toxic friendship? Mary?
Of course. A toxic relationship in my head is a relationship that isn't reciprocated. So, the energy isn't given back, and it drains you and it has negative impacts on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sarish?
Negative friendships. Toxic friendships, sorry. Someone that, you feel a bad vibe off them, you feel like there's competition, or they may be jealous of you. You get that vibe. Or if you're doing good in life and they try to put you down or don't appreciate you, don't want to celebrate your success with you, that, you should be wary of those people because they're very dangerous.
Lamisa?
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with the negative impact on you yourself. But I don't think necessarily it's about, like, I think, Mariam, you said, like, when it's not reciprocated. I think you don't necessarily need to take something from a friendship for it to be a good friendship. But I think if it starts to have a negative impact on you, or like you said, I think competition between friends is something that very quickly leads to a toxic friendship. So when it starts to weigh down on you negatively, that's when it's a toxic friendship, because friends are always meant to be hyping you up,
Hype you up. Amina?
Yeah, I think they've all given a really good definition of what a toxic friendship
I'll
is.
pick you first, don't worry, next time.
No, they've done it. They said it well. But yeah, like if you have a friendship and every time you walk away, like you feel exhausted by that person, or you feel upset for some reason and like you can't quite understand. Obviously you will understand soon, but just know that you don't need to be friends with that person anymore. Sometimes it's something that's not really a big deal. It could be just something small and you just don't get along with people. Like, not everyone gets on.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be friends with everyone, so...
You can be civil.
Yeah,
I would say even the people that you consider very, very close to, and you start to feel these feelings that, it's like you feel a negative impact. It could be that, your relationship is taking a different course, and maybe it's time to talk things out.
Yeah, for sure.
And kind of figure out, because it could be that you're on different paths now, and maybe it's time to kind of drift apart. But that's okay. That's healthy. It's better to be drift apart than be in this like pot where it's really toxic.
True that. Do you think that social media can influence your friendship in becoming toxic?
Depends who your friend is. I feel like if you have a strong friendship social media should not affect your friendship. Like, if you think you're friends with someone and social media is somehow getting in the way of you, then you should question why. You should question that relationship. Like, these things should not be interfering
I'd be quite
with.
interested. I want to know if social media has actually affected someone's relationship.
Because I wanted to, like, how does social media affect your relationship or friendship? I'm confused.
Okay, so for example, this is from examples I've actually seen. Actually, recently, I don't know if anyone else has seen it on a certain social media, tweet.
No.
But someone's friendship actually broke up because someone made a fake account trying to break up someone's marriage.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
They're not really friends then, are they?
That's true.
That is so weird.
Oh, so do you think it's when you
really your
take
friends?
Is it when you take your sort of your conversations or maybe your arguments online and do it in front of everyone?
I think, for example, if someone has an argument and it's just being kind of pettiness.
Yeah,
being
but it's online.
It's unfortunate, but it's surprisingly amongst our generation, I think, something.
Yeah, it's when you start becoming complacent or you become indirect. You don't be open and speaking to the person that's hurted you.
So you could have an argument with someone and just put an indirect Snapchat about
Be like,
they could just take it maybe a little bit.
But I think that's just another sort of like way of getting at them. Like in the same way, you don't necessarily have to do it on social media. You could be in like a group setting and you could be talking in real life and still throwing shade. Like it's sort of.
That's a
I don't know.
But do you also
trait though?
Yeah,
one thing
for sure.
that's also on social media is this whole, like, there are sort of certain expectations that are put out. For example, doing like the bare minimum of things, just checking up on your friends, even though you're all busy, or like asking, like there are certain expectations maybe put on social media, and some people might feel that that's not reciprocated in their friendship. Do you see what I mean? Social media can give light to certain expectations that should be there. For example, in beauty standards, fashion standards, just normal generally. There's even friendship standards. Relationship standards. Do you understand?
So you feel the pressure to sort of have that for your friendships?
I think it depends
on the type of person you are, though.
Yeah, like
do you get easily
maybe
influenced?
On your maturity or on your own. Like if you're an insecure person, then it doesn't matter how old you are, then that might affect you. Like if you're insecure about yourself, then you'll be insecure about every relationship that you have and you'll compare it to being online. But if you learn to love yourself and learn who you are and just remind yourself that the friendships that you have are beautiful no matter what people are doing online. Like these girls, I don't know, they're going on holiday together. Wow, that's amazing. Doesn't mean you have to go on holiday to have a strong friendship. Of course that's lovely, but you don't have to be like, oh, why don't we do these things? Like chilling in your friend's bedroom is just as fun. Like we all know that. We don't need to compare to friendships online, and you need to remind yourself that that's just like one part of their friendship. That's probably like they might have been saving up for ages to go on that holiday. We don't know.
Yeah.
So it's mainly not looking towards that kind of ideal and standard that.
Yeah, I think if you're basing everything to the point of your friendships,
it can influence someone.
But if you're basing, it can definitely influence someone. But I think if you're basing even your friendships off of standards that you've seen on social media, then I think you need to sort of have another look at yourself and where you are as a person mentally. Because I know I don't need that as a standard to hold myself against. Like I'm happy with the friends that I have and the experiences that we share, and I don't necessarily need to go online to validate it or to in any way take in. Like you can take inspiration. If I see someone going on holiday with my friends, I think it'd be fun to do, but I wouldn't then think, oh, we haven't gone on holiday with each other, therefore we're not friends. Like, that's not what I'm gonna think. Okay, so I think it definitely depends on the person and the type of person you are.
How would you identify a toxic friendship? What if, because there are certain, for example, some people are so inside a toxic friendship they can't get out. So then how would you free yourself from a toxic friendship?
That's difficult. I think
very difficult.
People struggle with that so much.
Yeah,
right, let's see what kind of everyone's thoughts are.
I think you just have to recognise how you're feeling Because if you start to think, why am I feeling like that? Question yourself, why am I feeling like that? Why does this person make me feel like that? Is it me? Or is it my surrounding? Or, you can even ask yourself, what has changed in our relationship? What has changed in me? You have to kind of be in tune of your surroundings and your inner self. And if you keep feeling the same feeling persistently, it's important to kind of measure,
So your advice would be to
recognize them.
recognize yourself, recognize your feelings.
Yeah, and validate them. It's valid. Whatever you're feeling is valid. But kind of dig into and thinking why, where is it motivated?
Yeah. Right. How else would you?
I think it's important if you feel like there's a negative relationship between your friendship, then have a conversation about it. If it doesn't rectify from that conversation, then you know where you stand and where the friendship stands.
But what if that person might not be the type to want that conversation because they're not the type to maybe confront those kinds of feelings?
Yeah, but then this is the thing. If they are not willing to talk about the problem that you're having in the friendship, then you need to question whether it is even a genuine friendship and whether they are good for you in your life.
I agree. I'd say, like, before you do anything, before you like, I feel like on social media it's really, for some reason, it's what's the word, like, everyone hypes this, like, cutting people off, like, burning bridges, like, snip snip. We don't need to do that. We can be civil. Like, before you even think of doing that, which you shouldn't, not in that way, you need to communicate. Like, you need to tell them. Yeah, like, if you're, like Mariam said, if you feel like negative vibes from someone and you don't feel nice around them, then just talk to them about it. And if they don't want to have that conversation, then, like you said, like, is it even worth being friends? Because if someone has hurt you and they're genuinely there, if they want to be friends with you, then they would be concerned and they'd be like, I want to know why, what made you feel that way, let's do something about it, what can I do to help you? If they don't want to do that, then you can be civil and walk away, like burning bridges and
or
stuff.
rather than walking away, maybe just distancing yourself from them, and then see if they make the effort to try and bring the relationship back to how it was. And if they don't, then slowly, as you distance yourself, this is how you get rid of that toxic energy and it's completely gone.
I think there are some people who are really they really dislike confrontation and any type of argument in that sense. I think if you have a friend that's like that and they're in a toxic relationship, then it sort of comes, I think that's when it's really important to have a diverse group of friends, because if you're in a toxic relationship, one of your other friends can come help. Because I know I have a friend who's very she's like very innocent in that sense. She doesn't really like confrontation, and she got in a situation where she didn't know what to do. So in that sense, you sort of have to, as a friend, go in and help them or sort of be in their corner in that sense, because the other person may be very bullish or very confrontational. So I think that's why it's important to have a nice rounded group of friends, so that you can sort of even out your characteristics.
What do you think makes a good friend?
Someone who listens, I think.
100%.
For sure.
Someone that listens, someone that pushes you to do good, someone that motivates you, and also makes you make right decisions, don't make you do anything stupid, and just there for you at all times.
Because I think the biggest thing is, like, as human beings, I feel like we're quite lonely. Like, if we're on our own, then we don't like it. So if you have someone to listen to, like, it just feels good. So if someone wants to vent to me, like, I'll happily sit there and listen, because they need that.
Can I have your number, please? I'll call you today.
Sure, go for it. I'll give you my number. Because I'll quite happily listen, because basically what that person needs in that moment is someone to shed themselves on, basically.
Literally.
I think it's important. We all need that every now and again.
100%. Just go on a drive and take them along with you and just lock the car and be like, you're listening to me while I'm going on a drive.
My friend, we would at school, we'd just go into the girls' toilet and she'd properly rant to me the whole time, and then someone would awkwardly walk in and we'd just be like,
pause the ride. I finished work
wash your
yesterday
hands.
and I said to Faiza, you're coming in the car with me, and I just ended up driving to Dunstable and back because
she was venting while driving. I was like,
and the best thing is my car aux thing is broken, so she couldn't even play music. So she had to listen to me.
I wanted to listen.
Yeah, you still played music on your phone. Still played music on your phone.
She had the headphones in her.
But here's one question though, but I don't know how I'm going to phrase this now. When it comes to pouring out and, someone having to listen to everything, is there ever that whole point where sometimes you kind of hesitate to kind of pour onto someone else because you feel maybe it might be a burden?
For sure.
Burden.
Yeah, for
So-
sure.
I think so.
So then,
I think some people find it easier than others.
And
Like,
it's even the
I-
reaction of the person.
Yeah.
Like,
but then
even
everyone has their person.
don't you
I
feel
think.
like it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it's just like, you know, it's a bit draining someone else?
Yeah.
But I think everyone has their one person
I
that they
think so as
can
well, yeah.
like. It's okay for you to
The
to
wall.
go to them. You don't have to think about. You don't have to think
because
about.
you'll do that. You'll do it back for them as well.
Because it's like that with my mum or my
Yeah.
dad. Like, they're the two people that I don't have to think about pouring my life out
They
to.
want to hear it. They, you know.
Yeah, they
But
have to hear it. Literally, all your
other-
tantrums, everything.
Like friends and things, like people like that, I don't want to burden them with my issues, but I don't mind listening to yours. Like,
because at the same time, it's like they're like, you know, what they're going through as well.
exactly.
But then, isn't it a good thing? As at the same time, you both can pour your
Yeah.
Stuff
issues
out.
out
Yeah.
to each other, and then
It's great when you're at that point in a friendship where you don't have to think about burdening them because you're sort of one at that point. Each other's
Yeah.
burdens are like.
Yeah. I also
you
think
know.
it's nice when you like make a new friend and then they like rant to you. I feel like when someone tells
Ranting is
you
that.
like just everything, there's already that trust there, and then
Yeah.
you know that because they've done that, you know that you can tell them anything as
Yeah.
well.
You're on that
Yeah.
level with them.
But then, I have a question. What if you come across as a very trustworthy person, or people tend to just pour things on you, and you obviously yourself are not going to pour yourself back?
Mhm.
How do you sustain that? How do you maintain those relationships? Because you just naturally attract people to trust you, something like that. I don't know how to explain it. If people just come to you and tend to pour things out, and it's unexpected for you, how do you deal with that?
Oh, well, do you mean like
Depends.
if you're not expecting, if you're not used to people?
No, as in
Ranting to you.
like, for example,
They just constantly do it.
no. I say if you have acquaintances and then suddenly you regard them as an acquaintance and you just say hi, bye, how are you, blah blah blah.
Oh, okay.
But then they come tell your personal issues. But then it's not just that one
Oh,
person.
are you-
There's a lot of acquaintances that do that, and you just think, obviously I want to listen to you, but I'm not really emotionally there because I don't really know you.
I think there's a point where you draw the line,
Yeah, I
maybe.
I think so.
Because
Yeah.
in that point, like that's where communication and transparency is so important. Because if I have an acquaintance and they spill themselves to me, the type of person I am, like I won't mind. I'll try and be there for them as
Helpful,
much as
yeah.
possible. So I'll try and listen and give them good advice. But if I really don't feel any emotional connection there, I'm just like, this really isn't my issue, then I think the thing is, I'd be like, I'm very sorry, I don't know you on that level yet, and I don't think I'm in the position to advise you with anything.
Definitely, I think
Perhaps
that's a
go
very
to
good
a
advice, yeah.
or give them a
Okay.
helpline number or something.
I have a kind of a weird question. I don't know how I'm going to take this, but I want to know your opinions and views on this, okay? Do you all... Now, just say yes or no first, and then you can say why afterwards, okay? Before I disrupt anyone while they're speaking, Mariam. Basically, do you think there is such a thing as one best friend, or like a group of just best friends, all best friends, or is it just like one person as your best friend? Or do you even believe in the concept of a best friend?
That's like 6 questions, you know.
Okay, fine. First of all, do you believe in the concept of a best friend?
I do.
No.
I do. Even though I sounded cynical this whole time, I actually do.
Anyone awake?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you believe in the fact that there should be only one best friend, or you can have several best friends?
Several.
Yeah, several.
Mariam?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Amina?
You can have several.
Yeah, you can have one, you can have several, have as many as you like.
Mariam.
I think is when you for me, I think it's just down to
It's
preference.
personal.
Definite
fair enough.
preference. So, for example, you could have 2 best friends, but you might share certain things
Yeah,
with one
yeah.
best friend and share other things with the other person because of the dynamics
Okay.
or how they
Fair
receive
enough.
it.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree with that.
So now going back to the first question, do you believe in the concept of the best friend? You do. Who didn't again?
Me.
Why?
Well, I think I got the question wrong. What I meant when I said no was I don't believe in the concept of a best friend. I believe in the concept of having various best friends. If that makes sense. So that's what I meant.
So you think that you can have like several best friends?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like no one goes out to think about the number of best friends that they're gonna have. I'm not gonna go out and be like, okay, at uni I'm gonna pick
you're my best
5
friend
many.
forever.
You know, but like I think it's different because at school I definitely had one like ride or
Go-to,
die
yeah.
best friend, and then in uni I have like 4. So it's different.
Yeah.
Why is this a concept?
Can I ask a question?
What?
Okay.
What?
Can I have a
Scared.
question?
Ooh, go
Can I-
ahead.
can I- so
No,
if
you
have-
can't. Sorry.
No, if you have if you have several best friends, does it have to be within the same group of friends? So
I don't think they do.
No.
No.
So do you
No.
think that dilutes it though when you have, say, a best friend from another group and best friends another group and you're in the middle, but these two groups don't connect?
Do they have to connect?
Yeah, do they have
It's based on you and your relationship,
Yeah,
right?
that's very true.
So, like, I think because we go through different stages of life, like, one thing I've realised after going to uni is, like, you very rarely see your school friends or sixth form
that's
That's
friends.
amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing.
It's like, you
depends on
realise
your
you move on
experience,
very
though.
quickly. So, you end up, at each stage of life, you're going to meet new people and, you know.
Where is this concept from? Like, why do we have a best friend?
I think it's because you can be open with one or two, or like just a group of friends. You can't be open with everyone. So obviously, if you kind of give a piece of your heart to someone, you're not gonna like slice it
It
to
really
everyone.
is like that though. Like
What?
But then-
when you have a really good friend, I feel I lost my train of thought. But it's
what
like
about marriage
it's kind
then?
of like
Well,
well,
we're talking
Marriage
about
is
marriage.
a friendship, right?
Yeah,
this
marriage is a
topic
friendship.
is
Should be a
about
friendship.
okay?
But marriage is a friendship.
Who literally was like, introduce them to your family, and
I'm talking about friendships. I'm actually talking about friends, like your best friends.
Your
can't
mother,
find
your
family
mum can
friends.
spot a bad friend and a good friend very
Yeah.
easily.
True.
But I think, you know, this concept of best friends, is it really best friends, or are they your true, like, real friends? They're the real friends,
But
and
then
everyone
what?
else is
Isn't
just an
that the same thing?
acquaintance. No,
Your
because
best friend.
I have
so.
people who I talk to every day on my course, perhaps, but I wouldn't, like, text them happily, like, after I leave or things
Yeah.
like that. I wouldn't call
So
them.
is it like
So maybe
distinguishing-
friendship is different. Real friendship is those people who you call your best friends,
Yeah.
and everyone else is people
Just
who
your
you
friends.
who you meet.
So there's like the distinguishing of your best friends, your friends.
That's what you call real friendship, though. I think.
things.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
you
that's
literally
the
have,
true
like,
friendship, and everyone else
files
is
in your head of this is my best friends and this is my friends and this is my other friends who
Okay.
I sometimes talk to.
because like everyone you'd call a
Yeah.
friend, like someone who I know by name
Or
and
an
I've talked to them.
acquaintance. Or a colleague.
But I
bumped
wouldn't,
into
if you call
someone-
someone like to their face you're an acquaintance, that's rude. Like you
Yeah.
can't say that. You'd say this is my friend. If I were to introduce like someone to another person, I'd say this is my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was
So,
just gonna
you
say
know,
that.
like if you've met someone and you know them on a personal level, even if you haven't talked to them as much, you'd introduce them as your friend.
Yeah, I think that's just.
But I think the
manners.
real concept of friendship is those people who you call your best friends.
It's someone that you have like a genuine connection with. Like you talk all the time, even if you don't talk all the time,
Or
right?
even if you don't see them all the
yeah,
time.
you don't
still
see them
talk
all the
to
time. You see them like once or twice a year, but you have that real connection, and it feels like nothing has changed. Like those are your best friends.
Best friends, yeah.
Oh, okay. How do you maintain a good friendship? Wow. What happened?
I think don't
maintains
have any
itself.
expectations from them.
Self-sustaining.
Like don't expect too much from
But
people.
it depends on the person. Some people do expect for example, the other friend to pop up to make sure they're okay.
Of course,
to
but I
check
think
up on them.
The reason why we're friends with people is because
they'll do that
they
anyway.
already have what we needed. Like they have, for example, if you're someone who needs to rant a lot, like I'm just going to use you as an example, so it's like your good friends, like they probably listen to you a lot and they already have that, so that's why you're friends with them. Like with me, I can't even think of something now, but like they already have a quality that you need and that you love about them. So
Yeah.
if you expect too much from them, then I think that's damaging on yourself, because you're like, oh my god. If you do that with anything, right? If you're like, oh, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this person doing anything for me? Of course, if they're actually not doing anything good for you, and if you're like questioning why are they not listening, blah blah blah, then maybe they're not your friend. But I feel like if you know someone is a really good friend already, and you expect too much, then I think that kind of damages the relationship.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay. How else?
What was
Louisa,
the
would you
question?
maintain
How do you maintain a friendship?
healthy
Okay.
friendship?
I think
being the
healthy.
keyword.
Communication is important,
Mhm.
but also just having fun is also very important, because I think the point of friends is that they're someone you get along with
And you have a laugh
and
with.
you have a laugh with. So if you don't, you're just like sat in silence and you're not really friends, are you? But
Yeah,
also,
you need to
actually, that's
share a
quite an
sense of
interesting thing,
humour.
because I think my closest friends are people who, if there's a moment of silence, it's not awkward. That's you should be able to sort of just sit,
that, like, it's not an
keep
awkward
thinking,
silence.
oh, I need to make small talk. Like what?
Like,
This is so
I need to
awkward.
crack jokes.
Be
Joke,
comfortable
yeah.
around
I think
them.
that's my
Being
biggest fear,
comfortable.
though, meeting someone or like seeing a friend and trying to think about what can I talk about today.
Because then I don't think they're proper friends. Then you're not on that level
True.
yet.
Yeah, like me and my friend, we literally FaceTime and we don't say one word when we do our silence. we just literally just hear each other breathing and we just do our silence.
Yeah, no, because
Interesting concept.
my friend from school, she'll call me and then our conversation will end, but we won't hang up. But it's not awkward.
just
Like
hear
you
each
don't
other
talk, and then afterwards, like someone will say something. But I think that's the point. Like you're on a comfortable level with them.
Yeah.
But maintaining a healthy relationship, you shouldn't. I think people get jealous very easily too, especially in terms of like friends. If I'm your friend but I talk to another person, that doesn't mean I've stopped being your friend.
So it's
So
like
you-
having that possessiveness.
Yeah, I think possessiveness is a bad thing in anything. Like you need
Being
to
very, very
chill.
possessive. Like even to the point where like it's excluded.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's like we were talking about toxic friendships earlier. That's a large component of that. Like you don't need to be so possessive over everything. But I think that's in life in general. Like we need to stop being so attached.
Yeah.
You
But
need
it's
to
very
learn to
hard,
let them.
though.
It is difficult. I'm the type of person who gets attached pretty quickly, but I'm there like you don't need that in your life because it brings unnecessary stress as well.
Yeah.
Even when nothing's going on, why do you need to stress about that?
Yeah.
You
fair
don't.
enough. Sarah, how would you maintain healthy friendships?
Again, I think it would just be communication. Whenever you're available, try and try and meet them, spare time for them, and just talk as much as you can.
Mariam, just like in like 10 seconds, how would you maintain healthy friendship?
Yeah, just what Zara said, just give them time and just
Communication is key, I
Communication,
believe.
Check up on each other.
Yeah. But we're coming to the end of our show this week, unfortunately.
That was fun.
We're all friends.
My first show of the year.
Still friends after this.
But please do join us next week, inshallah, because we are having a show.
Yay.
It's been such a long time, and hopefully we'll consistently try to be here for the shows as well in the future, inshallah.
And remember to vote for us.
Yeah, vote.
Instagram, Facebook.
Sisters Speak, everyone, and please join us next week again, same time from 6 to 7. And thank you all for those who contributed to our show, watched and listened to our show. Thank you so much. Salaam alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.